Hey there everyone, my name's Adam-Antium here. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you in advance for watching this short video. This is an idea I've had since a few days ago. I got my second-hand projector from eBay, and it's a wonderful device. Never had one before. I've kind of turned my little box room into a little home cinema. There's one bare wall. It's just having the things projected over to it, and I've realised that I am actually in a position where I can step up my public speaking activities in respect of just either formal or informal presentations, namely PowerPoint presentations, or even just informal talks. But some of them can have a visual aid, so it's not necessarily a PowerPoint presentation or just a talk, somewhere in between. And I've thought to myself, since I actually have in part I think I suffer from anxiety when it comes to the issue of travelling vast distances by myself, especially with travelling through the London Underground or any public service, any public transportation services in the London area, taking me around London. And over the past month or so, I've travelled twice back and forth through London. Part of it was through the Underground, and I did it all by myself. And I thought, I'm really bad when it comes to not knowing what the hell to do. So I need to sort of like get more exercise in that. And since I've got my projector now, I've got a laptop with the ability to create PowerPoint presentations. I have the brain that I can engage to create material. I've got a little... This was given to me by a fellow Maidstone chapter member, and because he basically didn't need it anymore. It's a little presentation remote. I got that as well, and I'm thinking to myself, I've actually got all the stuff that I need to do presentations, without having to necessarily rely on any utilities or hardware that is held at the venue. I won't have to worry about that. All I need is the booking itself, the material to actually present, and just a big bare white wall. That's it. Or even a wall with a bed sheet, stapled across it. Whatever. I've improvised before. I didn't have a projector when I did my Zido presentation, so I basically transferred all the stuff that I was going to be giving on slides or whatever, make them all into video files, even your PowerPoint presentation, and burn that onto a DVD, play it through an Xbox and a big flat screen TV, and be flicking through my slides with the next chapter buttons on the Xbox joypad. But yeah, for those of you who watch my transitional doing presentation closely, you'll notice that there's a big black object I have in my hands. Yeah, it's an Xbox controller. But now I don't need to do that because I've got a projector and a laptop that I can basically, give my presentation on. I don't necessarily need a big screen TV. But yeah, I've realised that I've got all the stuff that I need. So what's stopping me? What's stopping me from doing something really epic in terms of public speaking? How about if I put out the idea of a Z tour? I could call it a Z tour. But basically what it would be is a TZMUK lecture tour. Now, I don't know how exactly this can be put together, but I'm sure that you know, there's a group of us in, well, say any part of the world, but I'm speaking about the UK because I live in the UK. I have at least some familiarity with how things are run. You know, I wouldn't be able to organise a lecture tour in America, for example. I don't understand all the intricacies of that, but this is just something to think about from the UK perspective. So maybe transpose this to your area, even if you live in Baton Rouge or, you know, Iceland, whatever. But yeah, I just thought to myself, how about if we create that sort of idea? So I put a announcement up on the Zeitgeist Movement UK group and on Facebook, and I've put, hey guys, just thought I'd drop a little suggestion bomb. And no, this isn't an April Fool joke, because the time of this recording, it's 4:50 a.m. on the 1st of April 2013. So this isn't an April Fool's joke, and probably by the time I upload this, it'll probably be the 2nd of April. So, you know, but yeah, I've had the idea of maybe collaborating with a few fellow TZM activists and thinking, how can we actually get the the plan down for how we can actually organise a UK tour, or even, it doesn't need to be a countrywide tour, like up and down the country that'll involve days upon days. We could have it as, I don't know, maybe a tour of a specific town. Maybe, you know, there's two venues in, say, 2 days that are more or less around the same place. So what we can possibly do is have region-specific tours. Like, for example, I could arrange a tour of the Kent region, or even maybe smaller than that, maybe around the Maidstone region. You know, because I'm the dare I say, I'm the Maidstone chapter coordinator. I don't know. I just do a lot of things in Maidstone, and I got a few people together to try and collaborate with. So whether that makes me the chapter coordinator, so be it. But yeah, maybe we could have, contact instead of contacting a venue for one event. Contact a venue for an event, then contact another venue to have another event the next day. So say, for example, if I find a few clubs or pubs or whatever, and arrange maybe a short event, like just a presentation and a Q&A at one event, and then have the same event virtually. Or, yeah, you could do the same event, but have it on the next night. So, say for example, if I were to apply this to Maidstone, say for example, if I rang up the old house at home in Maidstone, it's the public house that I had my Z-Day event at this year. They offered the venue free of charge, which was really cool. They even helped set out the chairs in the room, which was really, really good. But yeah, I haven't spoken that much about how my Z-Day event went, so I guess I'll have to make another video to do a retrospective on my Z-Day event. But anyway, so for example, if I contact them for maybe doing a half-hour talk and then an hour Q&A for a Saturday evening, or I don't know, might not do Saturday evening, because I found that during my event it was a Saturday and it was very loud downstairs. They were having Q&A. We were having Q&A, but downstairs they were doing karaoke. So yeah, I'm dreading going through the audio for the Q&A video that I'm editing right now. because I haven't reviewed the audio yet, so I don't know whether I need to do anything about the audio levels, whatever. But say, for example, if I maybe you could do Sunday evening in the old house at home, right? And a Saturday evening in Style and Winch. They do charge £30 for using their function room, but it's a room in and of itself. It's in a slightly separate building, so that might be advisable for a Saturday. So we could have maybe, I don't know. Does 2 gigs constitute a tour? Or is that just 2 gigs, one night after the other? I don't know. That's one question we can all ask ourselves. How do we define what a tour is? How many venues constitutes a tour? But yeah, sort of what we need to do is we need to think about what people want to contribute, who is potentially confident in public speaking. There's generally always at least one person in any chapter of the Zeitgeist movement around the world. There's always at least one who is confident with public speaking, or at least just talks a lot anyway, like I do. Yeah, some would say I talk too much. As for this video, because so far it's, more than 10 minutes. But yeah, get talking with them, and if you're interested in finding out whether you can do some public speaking, or whether you know any people who can do us a favour for getting a free venue or whatever. I mean, I was really chuffed when I found out last year when I was organising my Z-Day event, because I organised my Z-Day event late last year. I think I'd probably organised and booked my Z-Day event before any other event was done this year, because I organised it late last year, so it was already booked then. That was my initiative. Probably one of the first times ever that I've actually had proper initiative. But yeah, talk to anyone in your chapter, or anyone you know who's in a chapter who is confident in public speaking. Collaborate with them and think, right, well, should we put our heads together and figure out which venues we can book, when, who's gonna present, are we gonna leaflet the event beforehand, maybe? Are we gonna maybe bring out a stall, a Zeitgeist Movement stall, where we hand out leaflets and DVDs and badges and T-shirts and whatever. Even though we can't sell anything. This will fall under the One Planet project, to incorporate street activism. That could be a potential way to publicise the event and to gain interest. And say, I'll tell you what, if you're interested in this sort of thing, tonight at blah 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 blah, we're having a free event where we're just gonna give a half-hour presentation, and the rest of the night we'll be chatting, and you can ask us questions, and we can ask you questions, and we can collaborate, we can team up, we can network in a way. But yeah, just have it as this, laid back sort of informal thing. The only formal thing about this tour has to be the booking of the venues themselves, the actual procedural booking of the venues. Everything else needs to be informal. It needs to be transparent. We can't charge any money for anything. If there is maybe a project you're doing in your chapter and it's going to need funding, then at the venue maybe sell some T-shirts. You'll have to okay it by the venue first, because you don't know whether that kind of venue requires people to have a license if they're going to sell something. You know, I mean, I can talk to Tom Williams about the fact that that you know, we were able to sell T-shirts at 10 quid each at the Zeta event in London this year. So, you know, because it was like in the front foyer, it was just like a tenner a T-shirt. I got one. And that money will go towards any project that your chapter is doing. Like, say for example, if it costs 30 quid to rent the venue, if they allow you to, you can sell some T-shirts, 10 quid each, and just aim to sell just 3 T-shirts. Just 3 T-shirts at 10 quid each, and that will cover the cost of the venue rental. There you go. You don't necessarily need to charge for tickets or anything like that, because, you know, you think to yourself, well, it's just 30 quid. You know, it's just 30 quid. I can afford that. If I don't break even, so what? You know, I'm thinking of maybe, you know, just making T-shirts and giving them away. You know, just saying, yeah, would you like a free T-shirt? I'm not going to go down the route of making baseball caps and cups and pens and napkins and whatever. But no, just arrange a few of these and see how many consecutive events you can book. Or even if not, have them like once every weekend. You know? Maybe it's, you know, because also when it comes to a tour, is it still a tour if it's only done once or twice a week? Does that still constitute a tour, or does it have to be like every day of the week? It shouldn't have to, should it? No. So yeah, see how many venues you can book, and I'm certainly gonna think about it. And what's more is we can broaden our scope, as it were. Don't just go to pubs to ask if you can use their function room. Maybe hospitals. Maybe there's some way that you can do this in a hospital. Maybe if there's a theatre of some kind on the grounds, or maybe if there's a courtyard that you can just gather some people around and say, everyone gather around. Just have an informal thing, you know. But yeah, see if you can get into universities, into colleges, into schools. You know, arrange you know, maybe a meeting round your house or something, you know, in your front room. If you have a big front room, you can have a few people round, just have a get together, have some nibbles, you know, maybe some short screenings even, because you know, you're all comfy there, you know, you can make a night of it. So, you know, there's so many things you can play with. There's so many things you can think up for this. So I just thought I'd put the basic idea down, because, you know, I've been thinking to myself whether I should actually do a tour of the UK, even, so that, you know, if you're communicating outside of your chapter, this is one thing. I suppose this could integrate with an idea I had called the Buddy Project. I think I discussed about this on one of my podcasts or something, and so if we incorporate the Buddy Project, possibly a sub-project of the One Planet project, and collaborate and communicate with people in your neighbouring chapters, and thinking, right, well, shall we organise an event, like, you know, somewhere in between our chapters, and maybe hold an event where we can, give a brief talk. It can even be a 10-minute talk, it doesn't matter. And then a few Q&As. Just do that from one chapter to the next, and like have an event between the chapter locations, or maybe somewhere that's right by a centre of a chapter. Maybe the residential area of the coordinator, or someone who's a member of that chapter. And if need be, then if they have a spare sofa for the person who is visiting, then they could possibly sleep on that sofa, and then the next day they go to another chapter location and team up with the chapter there, and have that. So maybe I've just had a thought. Maybe if we do this in a viral fashion, where things, well, not exponentially, but things multiply to a certain degree, the exponential scope of this would be possibly an exponential spread of increase. Increase of interest. Yeah, like spread of interest. That could possibly be exponential, even though, that's quite ambitious. But it's totally doable. It really is. It's totally doable. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Thanks very much again for watching, and send me some comments about this video. Comment in the section down below. Send me a video response. Discuss this in the forum. Let me know if you create a thread about it. Or send me a message privately. Engage with me, and maybe you have a similar idea. Maybe what I've just said is complete bunk, and it needs to be updated. And it's like, okay, come on, Adam, that's a good idea, but we could do it better like this. Let's collaborate. So get in touch with me, see what you think, and again, thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care.